I'm Tara from livingonadime.com. So today I am making 5 homemade cleaners that you didn't know you could make at home, or you really wish you knew the recipe to make at home. Today I'm going to show you how to do that. These are in our Dining on a Dime cookbook right here. And just so you know, this week we have our other 4 books on sale for 50% off. So Mike's going to put a link in for the store there. But we have Dig Out of Debt, the collection of tips from our website. We have Penny Pinchin' Mama, 500 Ways Mom Lived on $500 a Month. Menus from Dining on a Dime. This goes with dining, and it's the menu plans using the recipes from dining. And then we have quick and easy menus. And this is the recipes. I'll show you there. This is the recipes and the menus. So this is both together. So, and these are all super, super fast recipes that you can spend about 5 to 10 minutes cooking. 20 minutes, I think, is the longest recipe, and we've only got 1 or 2 in there that are that long. And so there's some of the recipes. You can see we have the menu here, and then we have the recipe to go with it. So these are on sale for 50% off this week. So if you want to order them this week, and if you already ordered these in the last week or 2, just shoot me a message and I'll give you a refund, because I did announce that we were going to put these on sale about 2 weeks ago, and we just got behind and couldn't get it done. So anyway, just wanted to let you know that those are all on sale. Now, most of these recipes are in Dining on a Dime, and we have a whole section here that is just cleaning. Whoops, where to go? And so let's see. Okay, here it is. Cleaning Sense. So this is all of our homemade cleaners, how to save money on cleaners, how to clean efficiently, even things on like how to organize your kitchen, that kind of thing are in here. So we will get started, and give me, if you have questions, please send them along and I'll try to answer them as I go and towards the end. This first recipe is for fruit and vegetable wash. It's on 402, page 402. All right. So this is to wash off your fruits and vegetables. So it's a good idea to always wash fruits and vegetables to get off any, residue, that kind of thing. And it was kind of funny. I'm going to give you a recipe, but Mom and I were talking about organic foods and that kind of thing today, and she was saying how when they lived in Japan, they had to soak their fruits and vegetables for 20 minutes in Clorox water every time they would use them, because they had so many tapeworms and parasites and bacteria and that kind of thing. And this was back in the 50s. I don't know if it was early 60s or not, but at least late 50s when my grandfather was stationed over in Okinawa. And Mom was saying how they had to soak all of their fruits and vegetables in Clorox water. So I think that's kind of funny, since Mom is, how old is Mom? 65, and my grandparents are both 89 and 88. So they lived, and so this is a good way to get them washed off without using harsh chemicals like bleach, but it does not disinfect. So if there's bacteria, I take, if I'm concerned, and I will put a drop of dish soap in my hand with some water, and I will just run it all over, and I'll just literally wash it with dish soap if I'm concerned. So, and then you just rinse it off. No, it doesn't taste like food. It rinses off. It doesn't absorb or anything. So anyway, for this one, you use lemon juice and baking soda. So pretty much what you do is, sorry, I have all my ingredients here, and so let me scoot them all over here so you can't have, okay, there you go. So for this one, we're going to take and use lemon juice and baking soda. So it's 2 to 1. So I got my lemon juice here. Boop. And then I have my baking soda. And yes, it will fizz up, so make sure your container is big enough.
Which container is this one?
This is the fruit and vegetable wash. So if you're putting the links, Mike's putting the links in there, or if you're on YouTube, the link is in the description for 5 homemade cleaners you didn't know you could make at home. So then, just take your lemon juice and soda, and you're going to add your water. Then, just wash your vegetables with it. I should have brought a pot of water in, but just wash your vegetables, rinse them off. I got some water here. Rinse them off. Dry them if you want with a clean towel. And there you go. You've got fruit and vegetable wash. Really simple 2-ingredient recipe. Doesn't even take 20 seconds to make, so that one's a really, really simple one. The next one, well, let me first. Are there any questions about the fruit and vegetable wash? While I'm
doesn't look like it.
On there.
You put
Okay.
love in your measuring cups.
Oh, these ones? Yeah, aren't those cute? I put a link below. Amazon doesn't have the same color anymore, but I put a link to similar ones.
Just the measuring spoons.
And the measuring spoons. And what's great about these measuring spoons is this is a little measuring cup too. Isn't that cute? I'm a huge gardener, so I just couldn't resist. Okay, the next one is my all-purpose cleaner. Now, for cleaning pretty much everything, what I do is I'm super lazy, and I will just take rubbing alcohol, and I will just take a fresh rag with rubbing alcohol, spray it on there, wipe it down, and just get it. Wipe down. Da-da-da. Not only does it clean, but it disinfects also, and it leaves a streak-free shine. So for most of my cleaning, I will just pour some rubbing alcohol with water, and if I'm on a wet rag, just wet my rag and then pour the alcohol and then wipe it down. That way I can make sure everything's disinfected, but I don't have to worry about getting bleach stains or anything on my clothes. Now this is a little bit stronger of a cleaner, so that if you need a degreaser or something like that, this will work a little bit better. So you use ammonia, and I'm just doing a small batch for this one, but use your ammonia. And then vinegar. And then I add, or what am I doing? Wrong thing. I add a little bit of alcohol. Now the recipe doesn't call for that, and I forgot to put the, forgot to change it on the website, but I add just a little bit of alcohol just to disinfect. So what happens here is the ammonia helps clean grease and grime. So if you've got something really, really super greasy like the stove or the countertops, or if you have really super dirty windows, this would work really great. That's what ammonia does. And I know ammonia is really strong out of the bottle, but once you get it mixed up, it's not that strong. Then the vinegar helps keep it streak-free. So that helps shine it up and get it streak-free. And then if you want to add the alcohol, that disinfects. So if you're using it on your countertops, then this will disinfect. Please do not believe vinegar disinfects. Vinegar does not disinfect. Mom and I have researched this and researched this and researched this. And this is a myth going around on the internet that vinegar disinfects just as well as bleach. It does not. You need either rubbing alcohol, something like rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, or bleach to really get it disinfected, or Lysol, something like that. But vinegar alone does not disinfect. This is just purely to help keep the shine and that kind of thing. Then you just add your water, and what I do is I got this little tiny bottle of rubbing alcohol, and I got it actually for the spray bottle. And I like the spray bottle because it's so much easier, oh, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze, so much easier to handle than a big, full, like, regular squirt bottle. It hurts my hands, like if I'm doing windows or whatever because of my fibromyalgia. It hurts my hands to hold a big bottle. So I got a little one, and this had the rubbing alcohol in it, and I got a free bottle to boot. So I was like, cool. But you can find bottles this size that are about $1. So what I do is I pour my mixture in my container. So I just pour it in there. Oops, oh dear. Then, oops, I didn't do this right. Then I take my water and I just fill it up. I just put it under the faucet, but you can just fill it then the rest of the way up with water. And then just spray, and everything's all nice and fresh and clean. And if you put alcohol in it, it's disinfected, and it just works really great to degrease things. So that is my all-purpose cleaner, and this costs me probably for a gallon about 20 cents for a gallon. I just made a small batch today, but for an entire gallon, which is this, it costs about 20 cents. An all-purpose cleaner in the store is $3.50, so this is a huge, huge savings. I mean, we're talking mega savings here, so that's a really good way to save. Any questions on my all-purpose cleaner, dear?
I'm not sure if it was specifically the all-purpose cleaner. Cindy says I use distilled white vinegar for cleaning, gets grease and water spots.
Yes, vinegar does help break down the hard water minerals, so vinegar is good. You can soak your shower, take a baggie, fill it with vinegar, and tie it around your shower cap. That could hurt if you get in your eyes. Tie it around your shower head and let it sit overnight, and that'll dissolve all the mineral spots. Yeah.
Cindy also says she's equal parts Blue Dawn and vinegar in a spray bottle for cleaning tub and shower. No scrubbing, takes off grime and hot water spots.
Yes, it does. Although I have found the ammonia works a lot better. I have tried the Dawn and vinegar by itself, and I don't find that it really works as well. So, as a matter of fact, I did a test on that, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do a video on that or not, because I tried 4 different cleaners, and actually the ammonia worked better. So, you know, it's an old-fashioned cleaner, but it really does cut the grime well.
And Cheeky Saver reminds everyone not to mix bleach and ammonia.
Yes, do not mix bleach and ammonia, because you can get really toxic fumes and die, so that's not good. But if you're just using ammonia by itself or using bleach by itself, then you should be fine. So, anything else? Okay. Next is, let's see, what is the next one? Oh, and if you have Dining on a Dime, that was on page 403. And let me also reiterate real quick, if you're just joining us, because I know people are popping in and out. Our other 5 books, Dig Out of Debt, Pity Pitch and Mama, Menus from Dining, and Quick and Easy Menus are all 50% off this week. So if you want to grab them for 50% off, this is the week to do it. Okay, next is homemade cleaning wipes. So this is our #1 cleaning recipe on the website, and I'm going to show in their own video a little bit more in depth on these because it can actually get kind of involved. But the short version is you put rubbing alcohol and ammonia. Whoa! Oops. Well, extra ammonia. I didn't mean to put that much in, but it's okay. I'll dilute it with some water. And then Classic Dawn. If you use Classic Dawn, this works the best. And then, let's see, did I get everything? Did I get the alcohol? I think I put the alcohol in there. I can't remember. If I didn't put the alcohol, then rubbing alcohol. And then you
smell it.
stir it. Well, I can't because of the ammonia. It overpowers.
You'll pass out on the air and it'll be great viral.
I would do something like that. And then you add it to your water. Now, what I do for this is you can mix it in a bowl with your water, but what I do to make reusable cleaning wipes is I take rags. This is an old bar towel. This is an old wash rag, and I'll cut them up in sizes to fit my container. Now, you can use something like just a plastic container, but what I do is, because I like it all pretty, I use something like this. And this is a canister Mom found me, part of a set, but Mom found this at the thrift store, I think for $1. She got it for me for my birthday one year, so I was really happy about that. You see the little birdhouse? Isn't that cute? So what I do is I take and put them in here and then leave it, my bathroom, oh, we should have done a picture of the bathroom, but my bathroom is flowers. So I have a big flower shower curtain and all that, so I love the flowers. So what I'll do is I'll pour my mixture in here, bloop, and then I'll pour my water just on top. And you'll need to adjust this to the amount of rags versus cleaner that you have in here. But this will last me about, 10 days to 2 weeks. If I put one rag for every day, because we clean the bathroom, toilet, and sink every day. So what we do is we go and clean the sink, wipe it down, just do a fast wipe of the sink, and then I wipe down the toilet. Don't do anything real heavy duty. I do the heavy duty stuff like twice a week, but this keeps the main grime off. This way it's pretty and it's reusable. Just rinse out your rag and then you can just wash it with your laundry and it works great. Now I'm also going to do later a video on disposable cleaning wipes. And I'll get those, but it's the same basic recipe. You just use paper towels instead of the wash rags. And these wash rags, like I said, they're just old wash rags that either have holes in them or cut up bar towel or something like that. And then, of course, if you want it, it's the same recipe as the all-purpose cleaner. You can just take and spray it on there and use a paper towel if you want to, or a wash rag. So, okay. Any questions on that one?
Well, they're enjoying your reality as far as spilling. Zephyr says, try a funnel.
Yeah, look at my notes here. You can see they're all wet. Oops.
And Cheeky Saver says, like cooking in my kitchen.
Yeah, I'm not the cleanest cook, that's for sure. I do clean up after myself, but you know how that is.
So Cindy asks if we have a recipe for oven cleaner.
Okay, so
You might restate in case they didn't hear me.
Cindy wants to know if I have a recipe for oven cleaner. Yes, I do, but most people don't like to do it. So the best thing to do is to warm your microwave to about 100 degrees. Open it up, your stove, your oven. Warm your oven to about 100 degrees. Wow, that could be interesting. And take a bowl and fill it with ammonia and set it in your oven overnight with the heat off. So you just warm it to 100, turn the heat off, then set your ammonia bowl in there and let it sit overnight and it will work. Now, I've seen baking soda, if you set baking soda on there, a paste and that kind of thing. You can do those, but I personally do not have the energy to scrape and all that kind of thing. My oven's really dirty right now, and so I was thinking about doing a test of all of these and showing you guys how each individual one works, because there is a reason why there is oven cleaner, because the lye that's in oven cleaner, which is the same lye that you use to make soap, so that when I make my soap, I just rub the leftover soap on the top of my stove and the inside of my oven, and let it sit, and then it wipes up. But the reason why is because it's a very effective cleaner. And yes, you do have to use gloves and it smells, but you know, it's a lot easier than scrubbing. So if you want, you can put a bowl of ammonia in there and let it sit overnight, and that will loosen a good majority of the stuff. And just take a scraper then and scrape off what you can't. Just wipe up. Okay, the next one, any other questions?
Ramona says, I'm not sure if this is that same cleaner, but she says I use peroxide powdered dishwasher soap and water to mop with. It cuts through pet odors. Oh, that must be a different thing.
Okay, so who was it?
Ramona.
Ramona says she uses peroxide and baking soda, and it cuts through pet odors when she mops. Yes, that would be true. The peroxide would disinfect, and then the baking soda would cut through the grease and stuff a little bit. But if you want to mop, just use the all-purpose cleaner recipe. I mean, when I say this is all-purpose, I guess I didn't quite tell you how all-purpose it is. So I use this on windows. I use this on my stove and my counters. I use this in my toilet, sink, bathtub, shower. I also use it in my floors. And when I had one, the Ready Mop refills, you know, to the refill or Swiffer mops where you sprayed and did around, you can take a pair of pliers and twist off the top and refill that with this, and then just put the top back on, and you have refilled your mop cleaner for about 10 or 20 cents instead of the $3 to $5 it costs to buy a brand new refill. So you can use this for that also. You can use it on car windows, everything. So yeah, this really is an all-purpose cleaner, and it works great. Any other questions?
Well, I think it's a little off topic, or going to more oven stuff and stove, but Lorraine says soaking stove grates in ammonia overnight works awesome, but smelly.
Yes, so Lorraine just said if you put, so how do you soak your
Oven.
oven? Well, she calls them grates. What do I call them? I don't call them grates.
Shelves.
Shelves. No, I don't call them shelves either. But anyway, the oven shelves, grates, whatever you call them. Racks. That's what I call them. The oven racks. I would put them in a black plastic trash bag outside. I guess I'll do a video on this demonstrating that too. So put them in a big black plastic trash bag. This is the time of year to do it for sure. This is great because what happens is when you pour the ammonia in there, just do a half a cup or a cup, however much you want. Pour ammonia in your bag, tie it off, set it in the sun. The sun heats the ammonia, and it will loosen all the grease and grime on your racks in your oven, and it will just wipe right off. So yes, it works really, really well. And in case you're just joining us, there's a link in YouTube below, or on Facebook, Mike is putting the links for the recipes. It's 5 homemade cleaners you didn't know you could make. Anything else?
I think that's good for now.
Okay. The next one is homemade fabric softener. So this one's a little unconventional because the regular way of thinking is just take some vinegar and put it in for fabric softener. And that does work well. But I don't find that it works quite as well as this. And what it is it's conditioner. And all you do is take your conditioner, and I have a spray pump here, but you get the idea. And then your vinegar. And then you want to add some really, really super hot water. Because see how it's clumped in there? It's kind of clumpy. So what you're going to do is you're going to add, and I forgot my super hot water, but you're going to add super hot water in here, stir it, and then just put it in a little, what do you say? Let's see. Container, like the plastic container. Sorry, my brain was kind of skitzing on me. So I'll just fill my container again, or if you want to get all prettified, you could use something like the canister. And then also take rags and just pour that solution over your rags. Make sure they're not sopping wet. You want them to be wrung out, so you'll have to kind of adjust your measurements to how big your container is. But then have wrung out rags and just throw one rag in every time you do a cycle in the dryer. And that's a homemade fabric softener that you can make for about 10 cents versus, I don't even know, does anybody know how much fabric softener sheets are now? I don't know, $2.50 or so probably. I haven't bought fabric softener sheets in years. I mean, literally, I don't even remember the last time I bought fabric softener sheets. And you can just use the vinegar, that's fine. And my son who has eczema, we wouldn't use the conditioner on him. But what we like about this is you can get conditioners like the really nice smelling lavender or coconut or whatever you want to smell like this week. And they already have the fragrance in there. And so it's a really cheap way to do the fragrance. And yeah, you can do any cheap, Suave, White Rain, whatever conditioner you want. Any of those are fine. Any questions?
I think you just answered. Patricia had one just asking for his hair conditioner, but that is what you
said, yeah?
Yes,
regular conditioner that you use on your hair. Now, don't use the expensive $30 a bottle, I guess, unless you're in a real bind, but just use the cheapy, Suave, White Rain, cheapy stuff. Yep.
I think this might be from the when you were talking about oven cleaner stuff, but people were saying works on gas grill grates and racks also.
Yes, so back to the oven cleaner. If you put your grill grates, racks, whatever you call them, in the black plastic bag, pour about a cup of ammonia, tie off the end, then set it in the sun, it will dissolve your grates. It won't dissolve your grates, it'll dissolve the grease. I think I'm going to do a video on that because it is really a good tip. Okay.
One other thing, Carlene says, I heard fabric softener sheets harm dryers.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know why they would. Does anybody know why they would harm a dryer? Because
that's what they're made for.
Yeah, that's what they're made up for, first of all. Now, I do know that they can leave a residue sometimes because it's like a waxy type thing that they use to stop the static cling. So they do sometimes build it up, and if you have that, just take some of your all-purpose cleaner and just put it on a rag and wipe it down. And then I would rinse it also with a clean rag with just water. But yeah. Anything else?
Reggie says air dry is nicer and cheaper. I'm not sure what that's referring
Air
to.
dry, so, oh, yeah. Let's see. Mike, can you go find on our YouTube video on how to hang out clothes? Mom did a video on how to hang out clothes. Now, air drying clothes is a lot cheaper. It's more time consuming, but it's not that bad. I literally timed it, and it takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to completely hang out and completely take down an entire load of clothes. So it's not that time consuming, really. Now, I have been using the dryer recently just because several of us have really bad allergies. And so I did notice that when I stopped hanging so much stuff on the clothesline and started using the dryer, it really does help cut down with the allergy problems at night. So I personally like air dried clothes better, but until some of the kids move out, I'm going to have to keep drying in the dryer and not hanging them on the clothesline. So, and you can dry them on racks if you want. You know, maybe we'll do a video on that this winter about how to dry your clothes on a rack, because that's how Mike and I used to hang all our clothes. And then if you don't have a clothesline, you can just put it on a rack and just set the rack outside. I used to just set it on the porch, and yeah, it worked really well. So
one more thing, a number of the readers are saying they've heard that dryer sheets cause fires and put buildup and cause damage, and a number of them are saying they just use fabric softener in the washer.
okay, well, I'd never heard that, but yeah, several people are saying that it causes. Can you guys hear Mike when he's asking the questions? We're not sure if you can actually hear him, or if I need to repeat.
You can hear me, but since I'm behind.
Or if I need to repeat the question. So let me know if I need to repeat the question. So some are saying they have fires and what?
Well, some people just said that they heard that dryer sheets can leave residue in the dryer and cause fires. And I don't know how serious that is as an issue, but they did say that a lot of them were using just fabric softener.
Well, I've never heard of that.
Sheets.
Yeah. Growing up, Mom used to just throw some Downy in the wash, and it just always smelled really wonderful and lovely. I can't use Downy because I have kids with sensitive skin, but yeah, just throw it in the laundry.
Are these in the book? Somebody's asking.
Yes. So most of these are in the book.
The which one, Dining?
They're in Dining on a Dime cookbook, and let's see. And you can also go to the website. Michael put the link on there for the website is in the description below if you're on YouTube. And I have all the recipes there. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then the very, very last one is homemade dishwasher detergent. Now, this works actually really well. Now, there is something in regular dishwasher detergent that makes the how do I say, the plates and stuff and silver just kind of shine just a little bit better, but this actually works really, really well. And what it is ammonia and baking soda. And just take your, you can, if you want to use this all the time, I would just keep a container like this, or if you, no, not, did I say ammonia?
You did.
No, not ammonia, borax. Sorry, borax and baking soda. And if you want, you can put it in a little pretty container like this again and just leave it on your counter or underneath. But I just pour half and half, and the recipe's at Living on a Dime again, 5 homemade cleaners. Just type that in the search. And then just stir it up. And then just pour it in the container in the cup that you use for your dishwasher soap. So then just pour that in there. And it actually works pretty well. There's a bleaching agent that's in regular dishwasher soap that does get them a little bit whiter, just a little bit though. It's really not that noticeable. So this would be really great if you're on a septic system or something and you can't use those kinds of products. We did when we were on septic, but yeah. So any other questions?
Well, Kelsey says, have you ever used wool balls for the dryer?
No, I have not used wool balls for the dryer, and I was going to make my own actually. I couldn't find any wool to do it with. I looked all over creation to try and find wool balls because I wanted to try it and Mom wanted to try it, but we couldn't find wool. And I don't know, does anybody know where you find the yarn to do those? Because I looked on Amazon, I looked at Walmart, I looked at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. None of our places had 100% wool. It was all wool with, what was in there, acrylic or something? I don't know. I'm not a seamstress, so I don't sew that kind of thing, so I don't know. But does anybody know where you can get the yarn for that?
It looks like I've made them before and use them when I have to use the dryer. You can add essential oils to them for a nice fragrance.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows where to get the yarn to make them, because I was going to do a video on it because I think that'd be pretty cool.
Leona says unravel a wool sweater.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. So Leona said to unravel a wool sweater. That's actually really a smart idea. You could go to a thrift store and get a wool sweater for probably $2 or $3, which would be a whole lot cheaper than a skein of yarn.
Also, Nifty Thrifty Bit says, look online at Paradise Fibers.
Okay, so Nifty Thrifty Bits says Paradise Fibers is where you can find them.
Amanda says, I get mine from Farmers. David Cooper says they have some at Joann, but it's expensive.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds like Joann, and if you just go straight to a farmer, I should see if there's somebody I would know that I could just, I don't know how you would do that though, if you just got it from a farmer, because when you have to spin it yourself and all that, I don't know, or could you just wad it up in a ball, and I have no idea. Because from what I understand, you just wind the yarn in a ball and get it all wet and dry it. So I have no idea. But
and I'm not sure which thing this is referring to, but Melissa says, could you add lemon juice to it? I'm not sure if that's the recipe she's referring to.
I don't know. Who was it? Linda?
Oops, I forgot I scrolled past already.
Somebody asked if I could add lemon juice to it. Lemon juice to what? My dishwasher soap? Yeah. I didn't get finished with this, but another thing that works really well is just a packet of lemon Kool-Aid. Just the unscented Kool-Aid. You could just throw that in there, and the citric acid in there is a really good cleaner. So that would be really good also. So, any other questions?
Let's see. Is this the end questions?
This is the end questions.
Okay, well, Melissa says, she says the dishwasher recipe is what she was asking for.
Okay, yeah, you could add lemon juice in there. I would just pour a cup in there and just let it run, or put it in your rinse cycle.
Let's see. We had somebody asking about cleaning cast iron skillet, a new cast iron skillet.
Okay, I don't know why you would clean a new cast iron skillet. Do you mean how to season a new cast iron skillet? I think maybe that's what you mean, because you don't really...
Well, a number of people are giving advice about cleaning them, so I'm thinking...
Yeah, you don't really clean...
Maybe it wasn't a new one. Maybe I misunderstood.
Okay, so with cast iron skillets, what you need to do is take something like a piece of wadded up foil or something like that, and use it without any dish soap to scrape out all the bits. And I just have a metal scraper thing that I use, that I scrape it off. And then you can just scrape it off. And then, after you get everything cleaned off, then take some shortening or bacon grease or any oil that you have and run it along on the inside and out to grease it so that it doesn't rust. Yeah.
Wow, we've got quite a few other questions.
Okay.
So Deborah has asked about what do you use to clean toilet hard water rings?
Okay, I'm going to sit down if you can adjust that, because I'm getting tired. So I'll answer your questions here, but let me just rearrange because I'm tired. I spent all day yesterday doing VBS trays, and then I worked VBS. So, okay, how do you clean toilet
hard water rings?
Toilet hard water rings. So the best thing I have found is to turn the water off, flush the toilet so there's no water in there, and to just scrape it off. And you can use a pumice from the store, or I've used just razor blades before when I was in Texas and in really bad water in Kansas. And I just scraped it off, and then I used something like Comet and cleaned it then if I had any scratch marks or anything. Now, the way to prevent hard water stains is to clean it frequently. If you're getting hard water stains, you're not cleaning enough. And I know that they're really, really bad and that kind of thing, but for hard water stains, you need to clean every other day or twice a week, depending on how bad your hard water is. And that will help keep it under control a lot. I've lived in, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 places where I had really hard water. And the main thing is, like on your sink faucet and that kind of thing, after you're done doing the dishes, dry off your sink area. Dry it with just with a dish towel. That will help wipe up those minerals so they don't stay on there and get caked on there.
Okay, also...
Oh, and also something like CLR, something like that works. Turn off the water on your toilet, drain the water from your toilet, and then put it in there and let it set for, I don't know, a couple of hours even. I would even do 2 or 3 applications if it's really bad, and then clean it, and that will help if you've got a big deposit on there now.
Shannon asks, can you use the all-purpose cleaner on granite? I heard not to use vinegar or lemon-based products.
No, you cannot. Granite or marble. You can't use the all-purpose cleaner on that. And I have never owned granite or marble, so I have no idea. I have no idea what you would use. Maybe some of the readers can tell us, but I don't know. Sorry.
And Trina asks, how do you clean a ceramic stove?
Okay, so I'm going to do a video on that, but, well, okay, go to our website. We have that on there. I have a whole post on how to clean it. And pretty much what you do is you scrape off what you can, and it's how to clean a glass top stove, I think.
Oh, it says ceramic top.
Is it ceramic top? Okay. Did you get that link in there? Okay, Mike put the link in there on Facebook, and I'll add it on YouTube. But basically what you do is you scrape off what you can, then take a paste of baking soda and water and let it sit on there. You can add a little Dawn if you want. Then take one of those, Mike, can you grab the green scratchy thing? Then you take something that's abrasive, but that's okay for the stove. And here's our ever so lovely, but, oh, gross. Okay, so use one of these scratchy things. And this one's an old one. We need to replace this one. But, whoa, out of the sink. That's what you use to scrape off the top then. And the trick to your stove is to clean it every single time you use it. This is the main thing. Mom used to be a professional cleaner, so she will tell you this every time. The main thing is just to wipe everything down with hot soapy water as soon as you're done. So as soon as you're done eating dinner and you're doing the dishes, wipe it down. Wipe your stove down with hot soapy water. I only have to clean the top of my stove probably every 3 to 4 months because that's what I do. I wipe it down after each one. And here's a little side note. If you're a soap maker and you make lye soap like I do, lye is oven cleaner. So I just take and spread the leftover soap mixture. You know how you pour your soap into your molds and then you have a little bit left in the inside. Sometimes you can't get scraped off or it's on your gloves or whatever. And I just spread that all over the top of my stove and let it set for an hour or 2 and then come in and wipe it off and it just disappears. It just completely dissolves all the grime. So
one person says he changed your napkins behind. These are nice too.
I was wondering if anybody would notice. Yes, I did. I just thought I'd spice it up a little bit. So since it's gardening season, I got my hydrangea and my tomatoes and my lavender and my foxglove and my pomegranates, which we can't grow in Colorado, but you know.
Reggie says chlorhydric acid. Pour in a bowl and let it work for a few minutes. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I've never heard. What is it? Chlorhydric acid?
It might have been. It looks like it says chlorhydric acid.
Chlorhydric acid. I have never heard of that, but if it's an acid, that would make sense that it would just dissolve the minerals. So, yeah.
Busy Boy says, what's a good way to keep the garbage disposal smelling fresh?
Just run a lemon or orange peel in there once every, I don't know, 30 days or so. Just put a piece of your lemon or orange in there and run the disposal with your lemon or orange in there. Another thing would be to wash a thing of dishes with bleach. If you have used meat or whatever and you're wiping everything down with bleach, just run half a cup of bleach with some water down there and that will kill the bacteria. The smell is bacteria that is growing in there. So you just want to kill the bacteria that's smelling.
Cheeky Saver says, using a squeegee on your shower stops buildup as well. You can reduce how often you clean and use cleaners, and it stays clean day to day.
Yeah, so Cheeky Saver said to use a squeegee and every day on your bathroom shower. That is a great idea because it works well. It gets the mineral deposits off so you don't get the hard water deposits and stuff. The problem with that is I never remembered to do it when we had one. So it's a great idea and it works well, I suppose what I should have done is gotten one of those command hooks and put it in the shower and just hung it on there. That probably would have reminded me, but yeah.
So Liz was saying for hard water, and I'm assuming for the toilet thing, she says dynamite.
Yeah, yeah, hard water is a pain in the rear. And believe me, I know I have lived in some really hard water places and it can just be a mess. It corrodes everything. It's just horrible. I'm glad I'm in Colorado now with soft water because I don't have to clean so much.
And Shannon says she likes the Works toilet bowl cleaner for toilet rings.
So, yes, so actually, Mike discovered the Works back, let's see, 1995 or 6. So, like in 1995 or 6, we were living in Idaho and Mike got a job 100 miles from home. And so finally, after driving back and forth between Idaho and Washington every day, spending about 2.5 hours a day, well, almost 3 hours a day driving, he got pretty tired of it. So we were like, okay, let's get you an apartment. So he got an apartment with this guy. The guy was nasty. I mean, it was nasty. He wouldn't even let me, well, I mean, he would, but he was afraid to have me come over because the guy was so gross.
Oh, the bathroom was just, when I say black, people say black and they're exaggerating, but this was black like when you strip all the white off of an old cast iron sink, black.
Gross. So Mike went to the grocery store to see what he could find, and he found this product called the Works. And actually, it works wonderfully on showers, and then they have a toilet bowl cleaner. And I think Dollar Tree has it. They used to. I don't know if they still do. But that is one product that I really recommend is the Works because it really does work. I mean, it just dissolves everything and it's great. It is a little stinky, but you know, I just spray it on, let it leave the room, and then come back in 5 minutes. So
as a guy, I just wanted something super stout. I would just take everything off.
It did.
Amanda says cutting a lemon or citrus fruit and putting salt on the sink and scrubbing cleaning can help too.
Yes, it helps shine it and it helps cut down the mineral deposits. So just take a lemon, sprinkle some salt on there. Your salt helps kind of agitate things and scrub. And then the lemon is an acid, so it breaks down the mineral deposits. So yeah, that works really well.
And a couple other things on water spots. Teresa says use lemon oil. And Ramona says use car wax to stop hard water spots.
You can use car wax to stop hard water spots. So you can wax like your shower or your sink or whatever. Just be really careful that you don't get it on the floor so people slip. That's the worst part. And I don't like waxing stuff. For me, to have to put all that stuff on and then wax it off, to me that's too much work. But it does work. I just don't have the energy to do it.
And Liz, who was the dynamite comment earlier, said, Mama always said you don't clean a dirty house, you keep a clean house clean.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't clean a dirty house, you keep a clean house clean. Yeah, that's true.
Teresa's asking, how can you tell if you have hard water?
Well, if you have to ask, you don't have hard water. So hard water is a buildup. And what it does is it leaves little teensy tiny minerals. Lime, I don't know what the other minerals are, but lime is the one that I know of. Like deposits on your faucets and in your sinks and your shower walls and everything. And what happens is it builds up over time and then it gets kind of hard, and it's these deposits that you can scrape off. Calcium, I think, is another one. And you can literally scrape it off. And so it leaves like this white film, or it can, if it builds up long enough, leave like white, yellowish white, like chunks. I've been in houses where people don't clean their faucets and there's like white chunks all over their faucets and their sinks. And so that's hard water deposits.
Reggie that said about the chlorhydric acid said it's hydrochloric acid. They use the French word.
Oh, hydrochloric acid. Okay, yeah. So you need to be careful when using it, but yes, it does work really well on porcelain.
And Ruth says, I freeze oranges or lemons that went bad on me in slices and then run in the garbage disposal. She also says ice is good for disposal blades and smells delicious with the lemons.
Yeah, I've heard that they sharpen your disposal blade, but that doesn't make sense to me because I would think if you're sharpening them, putting something hard like ice in your disposal would just dull your blades. It doesn't make sense that they would actually sharpen them. So I don't know if that's a wives' tale and it actually works or not. But I do know that when I put orange peels and lemon peels in there, it does clean them out, freshen them, and it works really great. So yeah.
And a couple people are giving advice on hard water that it's calcium deposits, sulfur gives a funky color and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Deborah says you look like you're fading. Get some rest. VBS is a killer.
Yeah, I am starting to fade. Usually we try to keep it about 30 minutes because I can only talk for so long before it makes me sick. So yeah, I'm kind of fading. Yeah, VBS was really good last night, but I was very tired when I got home. There's a reason why I don't volunteer for stuff very often because I just can't do it. So anything else?
More? Just for Trees says, ever have issues with white bits and linty looking yuck on clothes when you pull them out of the washer?
White? Okay, so do I have problems with...
If a Kleenex blew up in there.
White bits and
white
linty
bits and linty
stuff?
looking yuck on clothes when you pull them out of the washer.
So the only thing that I could think that would cause that is like if a Kleenex got left in your pocket or something and it spewed all over. If that happens, what I do is I run it through the dryer because the dryer tumbles that off and then it catches in the lint catcher. So I don't know for sure, but that would be my only guess.
Just a couple more. Jennifer says wet or vinegar in the jet dry compartment of the dishwasher helps with hard water spots.
Yes, you can use vinegar in your dishwasher instead of jet dry, and it's a whole lot cheaper.
And Liz said Mom always did the ice thing with lemon, but she was an old wife, so maybe it is an old wife's tale.
I don't know if putting ice in, I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to me that it would sharpen it if you're running your blades on something hard like that. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Anything else?
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so don't forget, please subscribe and share these with your friends, guys. We really appreciate your help. And don't forget that this week, all these recipes are not all of them, but a lot of them are in Dining on a Dime. In the description below is the recipes. And then also don't forget, we're having our sale. You guys asked for a sale, so we're having our sale. So we have our 4 books, Big Out of Debt, Penny Pinch Mama, Menus on a Dime, and Quick and Easy Menus. And these are all on sale for 50% off. The link is in the description below. And if you ordered within the last week or something and one of the books that you ordered is on sale, give me a holler and I'll give you a refund. But yeah, I think that's it. And we will be back tomorrow at noon. So have a great day, guys, and please visit us at livingonadime.com.